All right, so it's Jake Raw. We're back, and the Lakers just won 113 to 104. I'm recording this after the game. I was able to catch the ending, pretty much the second half, and you know, just my takeaways watching this game and going back and going through the box score and everything. Just I really came away impressed with the way. First off, Anthony Davis, limited playing time, hasn't played in quite some time. He comes in, adds 21 points to the fray. LeBron James played facilitator tonight. I think what's lost on a lot of people is that LeBron wants to score 40 points. In reality, I don't think he wants to do that. I mean, I think he kind of showed you tonight what he wants to do, what he wants the Lakers to be. He wants Anthony Davis to be the leader of this team and, take over and be the star. And he wants to facilitate. And I mean, we saw that, but still 20, 11, and 9, almost had a triple double. You talk about the game that Patrick Beverley had. I'm always, knocking this guy, but he was fantastic in 24 minutes, putting up 18 points, 3 of 4 from, 3 of 7 from 3-point range. I was impressed with his contributions. And, it was funny at one point, you have all these players, right? You have LeBron, you have Anthony Davis, you have Russell Westbrook, you have Rui Hachimura, you have Thomas Bryant. And the guy that was leading the team in scoring at one point was Patrick Beverley with 16. Just, weird game, fun game. And I think the Lakers are going to start having a lot of fun, playing with this team. I think Hachimura coming off the bench, adding 22 minutes, 12 points off the bench, 6 rebounds, a steal, an assist, a plus 17 off the bench. He had the best plus minus rating of anybody on the Lakers. 4-7 from the field, had a really nice mid-range shot that got him going. I think he was a little jittery to start. He had a fast break where LeBron kind of dished it to him, and he kind of fumbled the bag a little bit, but it was able to go up and still finish at the rim. Look, I think Hachimura is going to be massive for this team. I said it when they traded for him. I gave you my thoughts. I already did a video on it, and I think it's going to be huge. I really believe that. I'm very excited for his future as well, because I do think the Lakers are going to sign him, and I think he made it clear this is where he wants to be. He wanted to play in LA. His family in Japan, his friends in Japan wanted him to be in LA. He said over and over again, the Lakers are the biggest basketball team in Japan. And so I think this is a perfect fit for him. A stretch 3, stretch 4, whatever you want to call him, can obviously go up and play the rim, but he can rebound. He can, dish out some assists. He can steal. He can block. So this is a guy I think is going to help you out. The Lakers definitely needed shooting on the perimeter, and I think they're going to be getting that with Rui Hachimura. That's something that I'm very excited about. Now, keep in mind, the Spurs are 14-34. They're not a good team. The Lakers complete the sweep. They beat them all 4 times this season. That's the end of it. But I do think you got to give credit where credit's due. You can say it's just the Spurs, but it's hard to win any night in the NBA. You can't take any of it for granted. But it's really nice to see Anthony Davis come off the bench, play 26 minutes, healthy basketball, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks, just really good stuff there. Thomas Bryant had kind of a down game, 8 points, 5 rebounds, got into foul trouble. He did have a block and a steal. But we're probably not going to see Thomas Bryant going for 15 points, a game with Anthony Davis back, and especially with Rui. I think Rui's going to cut into some playing time with Thomas Bryant. I think Rui's going to cut into some playing time, especially with Wayne and Gabriel, who I thought, he only had 1 minute tonight. I thought he was starting to really come into his own, but definitely a good thing. Glad Hachimura is a Laker. I came away feeling pretty good about this team, and you move on, right? You're on in the next. I mean, this is a 23-26 team. They're 13-12 at home. They got to figure out ways to win on the road, and I said it. The Clippers game, it was incredibly frustrating. They made a comeback, and then it was thwarted. But let's be honest here, they're not even fully healthy still. While I'm really excited to have Hachimura, I'm really excited to have Anthony Davis. They don't have Reeves. They don't have Lonnie Walker. Those guys are out. They're injured. Lonnie Walker dealing with tendonitis and Reeves dealing with a sprain. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Lakers, and they finally just got some guys back. Rui, who they traded for, he sat out one night. He's here and he's ready. And looks pretty decent in number 28. I'm not going to lie. Not my number I would have picked for him, but not bad. And then Anthony Davis. Again, what more can you say about the guy? He, goes on and gets hurt right around the time where you could say he was the MVP of the league when he got hurt. It was between him and Jason Tatum. Now, the MVP of the league is out of the question. He's missed too many games, but his presence was definitely felt tonight, and I'm very, very excited for this team moving forward. Now, what does that mean for the Lakers now? The Lakers were 8-point favorites coming in this game. They win 113-104, so they actually did cover, believe it or not. But what does this mean for the Lakers? What does this mean getting Anthony Davis back? What does this mean with Rui? All of that. Do they still make a trade? I think they do. Dennis Schroeder played 38 minutes tonight. Wasn't his best night. Obviously shooting. He went 3 of 12 from the field. But I've been really impressed with the way he's played throughout this time without AD, without these guys. And so, Schroeder, Beverly, Bryant, Brown. I really like Troy Brown, young, has experience playing with, of course, not only Bryant, but Rui and Russ Westbrook. Obviously, you guys know I love Russ. Max Christie, I'm really liking what's coming on with him. So right now, the Lakers are learning kind of how to play without Lonnie Walker. It kind of leads me to believe that at some point or another, he's going to be the odd man out. They're probably going to trade him. Reeves is going to be fine. They're not moving Reeves, but I could see Lonnie Walker, maybe even Patrick Beverly and Damian Jones, as great as Beverly was tonight. That's not him every night. So, I think they trade Damian Jones. He's got no chance to get minutes now. Now that AD is back, you got Bryant, you got Hachimura, you got Gabriel barely getting minutes. I mean, there's no way Damian Jones is going to see the floor now. So I could see him kind of being thrown in a deal because I'm sure he could go contribute somewhere else. I don't think he's terrible. It's just he's not going to be able to contribute much with the Lakers right now. Toscano Anderson, I could see, put into a deal. So you look at Toscano Anderson, Jones, Wayne and Gabriel, I'm sure a team would be interested in. So, the Lakers are going to have to make that decision. And, I think that there are some guys, we're constantly, every single day, we hear something about Bojan Bogdanovic, who I like, but he's 34. I'm not, trading the Pistons a unprotected first round pick. Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's starting to come on. He was banged up all year. He's come back from injury for the Hawks. But he's not an odd man out, but it's not like consistent scoring. It's not like consistent roles. It depends on the night, so I don't really know what they're going to do with him. Don't rule him out. He's the younger Bogdanovic. That would be an interesting one. I still wouldn't trade a first round unprotected pick for him. Let's talk about Devontae Graham. Devontae Graham had another solid game tonight. I think he had like 12 points. He just isn't utilized enough off the bench for the Pelicans. He is the lower cost guy that I would see if he's available. If he is, I'd go after him. You get that 3-point shooting ability. You get some facilitation. So, he can be in that rotation of point guards, but he could also play shooting guard. And then, in addition to him, not just in addition, but maybe instead of him, then if you want to go higher price and you want to go up the totem pole a little bit, then maybe you look at getting Gary Trent Jr., who may or may not be just a rental. I mean, I would imagine you'd want to keep him around and have a nice core of Gary Trent Jr. and have Rui Hachimura and, James and Bryant and, AD next year. But that's not always as simple as it is. I mean, we don't know. Maybe they keep Russ. We have no idea how this is going to impact the season that he's had. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things that they can do. My thought process is that as much as I would like to see Devontae Graham Obviously the Kansas fan me would love it, but I feel like he really is just a player we saw with the Charlotte Hornets. He started to come on strong. They drafted LaMelo Ball. They started prioritizing playing him over, Graham. And then, of course, Rozier. So Rozier started coming on strong. And instead of the Rozier and Graham combination, they started to focus more on Ball. And so he was the odd man out. But now with the Pelicans, he's not really getting the playing time that, he should be getting. And I feel like going to the Lakers, at least in that role, I think he could help them out. So he's not a guy that's been rumored. I don't know why. I think he needs to get out of there. He needs to have a bigger role somewhere else. But that's a name. The guy that has been rumored, the guy that has been linked, the guy that I do think could be in play here is Gary Trent Jr., and I would not be surprised at all if Toronto moved him, because, this is a guy that, he can give you 18, 20 a night. And, he's going to give you that perimeter shooting. And the Lakers right now, there's something missing about their 3-pointers. Like, you talk about LeBron James can hit the 3, although he's not shooting it the best this year. Troy Brown can hit the 3. Patrick Beverley times can hit the 3. Schroeder can hit the 3 at times, not all the time. Bryant can hit an occasional 3, but he's a center. Anthony Davis hit a 3 tonight, but I never like him shooting 3-pointers. Hachimura can shoot the 3. He's a good 3-point shooter. Might be the best on the team, if I'm being honest. Russ isn't really a 3-point shooter. He'll attempt threes. He'll hit some. He's not a 3-point shooter. Max Christie was a 3-point shooter coming out of Michigan State. So you look, and there's really only a select few of guys. Maybe Reeves can be that guy. Lonnie Walker's that guy. You traded none away in the Hachimura deal, who's more of a 3-point shooter. So, I do think getting a guy like Gary Trent Jr. is kind of the missing piece here. Or, if you don't want to spend that much money, go out or money, but capital in general. If you don't want to spend that much, go out and get Devontae Graham. I think it makes the most sense, but I think the Lakers still need another guy, because the goal right now, I'm not talking about in terms of making the playoffs. The Lakers are making the playoffs. The 10 teams make the playoffs. And don't tell me that the play-in game, I get the play-in tournament, the 7 and 10, 8, 9, whatever, but that is still the playoffs, okay? It's still a thing. No one can tell me otherwise. So they're going to make the playoffs, but I'm talking about winning a title. And you may laugh and you may not take it seriously, but you have LeBron James, you have Davis, you have Westbrook playing how he is, right? Then you have Hachimura, right? So you have those guys. You have Bryant, you have Brown, you have Schroeder, you have guys. You have Lonnie Walker if he's still on this team. You have Reeves. These are good players. I mean, I'm not saying they're superstars, all of them. I'm saying they have LeBron and AD and Westbrook, that big 3, and then they have good players around them. But the idea that this team can't win, an NBA title if they get out, they go out and they get Gary Trent Jr. and they have Gary Trent Jr., LeBron James, Bryant, they have AD, Hachimura, and Westbrook, and Brown, and Schroeder. I mean, I'm sorry. They can absolutely do this, but they have to figure it out. And that's another thing. Pelinka has to make the right decision, because here he has to think about the long-term effects of this. Is he going to go out and make this trade if he feels like this team isn't going to win this year? No. So the Lakers right now are 23 and 26 coming off this win. They got to get back to 500. If they get to 500, they start making the leeway. I think Pelinka will pull the trigger. But now it's gut check time. I think Pelinka is going to wait. Okay? He doesn't have to make a move right this instant, but he is going to wait, and he's going to see. He's going to monitor. How well does this team perform now that AD's back and now that Hachimura has been injected into this rotation? And if they start to perform really well and they start winning these games, then who knows? I think that they're going to make a trade. But I would say be careful, because if you make the wrong trade, if you trade away the wrong guy, if you get too carried away and you trade away Westbrook, you trade away, I would even say this. I don't love Patrick Beverley, but if you trade him away, what does that do for the locker room? I'd be very careful when they get off to, this winning run, because I do believe it's coming now that AD's back and they have Hachimura. When they get onto that run, I'd be very careful how I'm tinkering around the lineup and how I'm tinkering around the roster, right? So be careful. That's what I'll say. I think Gary Trent Jr. and Graham are the only ones that make sense. I'm not giving the Pistons what they want for Bojan. Sorry, he's 34 years old. Bogdanovich would be interested. Bogdanovich. But, I don't know if he's available. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we sit right now. My prediction, I think Gary Trent Jr. is a Laker. I really believe that. I think they're going to make that move. I think they're going to want that cap hold and be able to negotiate with him and try to bring him back for, long term, just like with Hachimura. But, we'll find out soon. Those are my takeaways from this game and just kind of everything that's going on. So we'll see. Obviously, I'll do a video if they make a move like that, or any move for that matter. But sign me up, Gary Trent Jr. I like the player, and I think that they need some more perimeter shooting. I think it's gotten better, but obviously adding Hachimura, but you need more. And when you're getting these open looks and you don't have the guys for it, well, those open looks don't matter. So we'll see what ends up happening. But personally, I would get Graham. And then, if it not for Graham, then I would go with Gary Trent. But I think they're going to go with Gary Trent Jr. And I don't think anybody's talking about Graham for a reason. I don't think he's going to get traded. I don't know why. I don't know why he's there. I don't know why he hasn't demanded a trade. He used to be a guy that could, he could score 30 some nights. And now he doesn't really get the opportunity. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys take care. Later, folks.